Hi.
Hey there. Hi.
We're back.
Have you missed
there's
us?
that music I love.
Yeah, we've been gone for a while, haven't we? Been a little busy. As most of you have been trying to adjust to a COVID pandemic lockdown world. And we've had some unique challenges and found some unique solutions, haven't we?
That's right. We're basically remote now. We've been remote learning for the past couple months now.
Yeah, so. And highlight on the learning, we're going to get into one of the big keys that we found to solve a lot of the isolation issues, if you will, later on in the show. But you want to start off just kind of going through some quick hits of some things we've stumbled across in the last few weeks?
Webcams. Apparently webcams are all the thing now, and
you can't find them anywhere.
You can't. Well, you can now, but back when this all started, we went down a rabbit hole trying to figure out how to get everybody on a webcam and interacting in our studio. Because what we normally our day job in a media company, we were all in studio, and all of a sudden we have to do everything remotely like everybody else. So we were on to every topic, trying to find out, the expensive guys with basically, the SAT fees and all that stuff, all the way down to the little webcams on little adapters. And that's ultimately what we went with, right? I mean, we're both on these little adapters.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because you and I both independently ordered. We're looking around trying to find these solutions.
Yeah.
And so I found an HDMI to USB adapter for $40.
Yep.
And I'm looking, and of course, everything else at that time was $350 and up. And I thought, okay, $40, I'll give it a try. And then
I enjoy a challenge apparently, because I thought I wanted to do the cheapest amount of money for an adapter, and I'm going to put the most expensive camera I have on that adapter to see if it worked. So I ordered mine from AliExpress. I ordered two because I figured one wouldn't work. They both work, by the way. But I ordered them from AliExpress and had them shipped on the slow boat from China
for like $11 a pop. Yeah.
I spent $25 total in like the parts and shipping. So it was quite the experience. It took a month. It took a month for mine to get here.
I got mine in 3 days, so I think worth the extra,
yeah,
$25 for it.
What's life without a challenge? Plus, I had like a little C920 that I stole from you. I steal all my stuff from you. I found out.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, so I have my C920 that I have since given back to one of the studio guys, but I was using that in the meantime. But now, like right now, I'm on. This is an FS700 dialed into that little tiny, $10, $15 part.
Yeah, we both were expecting absolutely nothing when we got these in, and we plugged them in. I'm using a Nikon D7500 here, and I use it every day, and it works brilliantly.
I'm gonna get that part up on Amazon so they can see just in case everybody knows what it is. But I'll bring that up.
Okay, and we'll dance while you look for it there. But yeah, it is remarkable that you are able to get these that cheaply that work, especially when everything else out in the marketplace was so expensive at that point. So we've bought a fistful of them now and have used them both in studio applications and out on the road. Yeah. And they've performed really well for us.
HDMI USB adapter. I'm seriously just all I'm dialing in here.
You can see we're well prepared for this new episode here.
There it is. Man, it went down. It used to be, you just type in that keyword and it came up. Let me bring this up on the screen.
Yeah, and there's like dozens of them that show up on Amazon under different names and things, but
this is one of them. This is Eggs Sky.
And they're all the same.
They're all exactly the same. I think I've got both of mine in use now, but I could, show the same thing.
So at least in our experience, it's worth the gamble. Go out there. I'm sure people are getting some of these because of the price point, because I'm sure it's quick and fast and cheap production. There are going to be some out there that don't work, but for the price point, it's certainly worth taking the gamble on. It's paid off for us so far.
Buy two at once.
At least two at once. Yeah,
at least two.
At the price point, you can.
Yeah, but I mean, we tested these things out and we felt confident enough with them. We actually sent only one out with two remote teams out, and they did an entire week of live shows using these adapters with their production cameras. So they're shooting full HD Sony cameras right into these little adapters onto a laptop, and we're getting that back in our VMix setup that we'll talk about some other time. That's another.
Yes.
That's another a learning situation we have right now.
But VMix was a big help for us on a big project, and we'll get into all the details of that on a later episode.
That's right. But yeah, right now, like we're using StreamYard right now, which is one of our tools. So
you gonna go on your webcam, the rest of your webcam rant?
Well, I mean, it's more of I went down a rabbit hole, and it's not a rant. It's just it's a concern. I would call it a concern.
No, it's a Mac guy rant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Mac guy. We have brand new MacBook Pros, and they have USB-C Lightning or Thunderbolt, sorry, for better or worse. And try to get a webcam into that. Just try. You've got like one or two options other than adapting into an adapter into an adapter.
Well, you don't need it. It's got such a beautiful webcam built into the machine.
If you like, looking up your nose the whole time. Yeah, that's what they keep talking about. Well, the webcam's so perfect. I'm like, well, but I don't want to put my webcam up here. I like to be able to look straight in an eye line of something. I'm the video guy. Maybe the audio guy is okay with up the nose shots. I don't know, but
hey, when you got a face like this, up the nose might be all right.
But I wanted something that I could actually plug into and have a good webcam, or be able to plug in an actual HD camera or 4K camera and get a decent shot.
Because so far we haven't found any $11 HDMI to USB-C adapters.
No, I have not. I have looked. They have their USB 3.0 adapters, which I have not seen any science to back up getting USB 3.0. I don't see the benefit and the extra cost that it involves. I don't see any of that.
Yeah, especially when these have worked as well as I have.
Yeah, I mean, and you're getting the same signal put into the same bit rate that's on the USB 2.0. So what's the point of spending all this extra cash on so it can do more apparently, but not really. Okay, I was a rant. It was a little bit of a rant. I'll give you that.
You done?
Yeah, I think. Am I done?
All right. Well, speaking of spending cash, there's a couple things that have intrigued us enough that we may want to look at spending cash on. You want to start with the folks at DJI?
Yeah, here we got a little video. We'll just put that over while we're talking. So you've probably seen the video for this, the new OM4, which is, they're so cool now, they don't even have to say their entire name. It's an Osmo, but it's now the Osmo 4, OM4. And personally, I don't know if I'm going to get this. I don't know if I'm going to buy this thing. Is that news to you?
That is news to me, because I love this thing. I've got an off-brand, a Moza gimbal that works very well for me. I quit using when I got my Osmo Pocket. And maybe that's why I probably won't get this, is because I use the Osmo Pocket in these applications most of the time. But I think it's a brilliant design. I can't believe that it took them this long to think of it and come up with this design, because it really solves a lot of the problems with the clamp-on gimbals. I mean, you don't have to worry about getting it lined up and clamped on and make sure it's tight on there. And it also is not blocking the port, so you can get audio sources or a power source into the phone while you're recording. So I think it's just a brilliant design. I would really like to get my hands on one and see one in person.
Well, maybe you get that chance, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not buying into it.
You're not.
I'm not chasing dogs, and I'm not going to run around in bean fields or whatever field she's running around in.
Yeah, but as you know, the quality of video that you can get on modern smartphones is just incredible anymore. Oh, yeah. And to add something like that gimbal onto it, if you've got that and your phone with you at all times, you've always got the capability of getting some good quality video, which, you'd like to get it on your FS7, but you're not going to carry that with you everywhere. This you've got with you, and you've got a rig that you can get the video you want at any time. That's, I think, what this is for. But again, for me, I've got the Osmo Pocket that also fulfills that for me. So I probably won't get this, but I really love that design.
See, I don't have the Pocket. I made you get the Pocket,
right?
So that I can not have to get it. And
but you gotta admit, the design is cool.
Of the Pocket or of the Osmo? Of the OM4?
Of the OM.
The OM4.
The OM4, yeah.
It is cool. I have a hard time buying into it. I have.
Why? What's
right.
not to like?
Because I like options, and I have a smartphone. I could put a smartphone on it, right? So I was like, okay, I went down a rabbit hole with this. I thought, what other options are there? So I looked around and I looked at some older options, the Osmo 3 and all these other things, and looked at the reviews on that. It was fine. But I ended up looking at the Zune, whatever, crane, and it has the ability to put a little mirrorless on it and a smartphone or a GoPro, depending on what you wanted to put onto the head. And then I was like, well, hold on. I have a little RX 100 Mark 7 that I love that, is amazing. And I've always thought about putting it on a gimbal. So you're telling me I can get one gimbal and I could say, well, I'm going to put my phone on it. Then I'm going to put my RX, 100 on it, or I'm going to put a GoPro on it. And it's cheaper than the OM4. So should I get one thing that can do a phone shot, or should I get something that I can connect my, practically pro grade camera or my phone on?
And for you, that's probably the right answer.
Because I like options.
But well, no, not only that, but you're willing to sit there and futz, and you're more likely to have some of those other things with you. I'm saying for the average person,
right,
to be able to grab that, slap it on, and go, I think is a terribly elegant solution.
And you have a point there. Yes, for the consumer, it is very consumer grade, and it's meant for a certain demographic that's going to love it.
Yes, they are going to love it.
They're going to oh my God, so many photos and videos of food are coming.
Yeah, that's the downside, is we're going to have, just a plethora of very smooth cinematic footage of nothing.
I'm sorry, but your kid's soccer game, it's smoothed out, but you still don't want to watch it for 20 minutes straight.
There you go. All right. Ready to move on to audio?
Yeah, let's move on to audio.
All right. And, I hate to tell you, but we lost the connection to the pictures I'd brought up, so we'll have to put them in later.
That's all right.
All right. So Zoom, I've been bought into Zoom for a long time. I've got an old Zoom H1N that I've had forever that I love. We've got a H5, I believe it is, that we use constantly for our radio production. And just love their recorders. They do a great job. A few weeks back, Zoom announced the H8, which looked really cool. It can have up to 8 inputs in it. It's got, you've got it? All right, yeah. So there you go. 3 inputs on either side. Some are combo jack, some are straight XLR. Plus you've got the module on top, like all the Zoom or most of the Zooms have now. So you could swap that out for another couple XLRs if you wanted to, or you can use the XY pattern there or any of the other modular mics that Zoom has. And plus on the screen on the bottom, you can have it set up so if you're recording music, it's set one way. If you're doing podcasts, it's another. If you're doing Foley work, it's set up another way. Really kind of interesting. It's got, the magic hotkeys on it. You can preload audio elements to play back. And I'm looking at this, and just like so many things we've seen for podcasters, looks gorgeous. It's so close, and yet it misses the one key thing that I've always wanted in a portable podcast rig. And nobody seemed to get it, and I was so frustrated for about 2 weeks until Zoom came out with their next announcement. Oh, look at you right there.
I'm ready for you.
The Podtrack P4. This, it may seem simple, but this is what I've been waiting for all along in a portable podcast rig. And that is something that has the microphone outputs built into it. When I'm using my other Zoom products, I can take all kinds of microphones into it everywhere, but then I've got to have some sort of Frankenstein's monster on the headphone output to be able to feed back to everybody involved in the podcast, especially when we're out in a noisy location or something where I've got, these headsets on everybody. They need to be able to hear through those. And so it's just been a nightmare trying to figure out a simple headphone solution. And this has got it all integrated in one unit. And I think it's beautiful. The price point, only $200 for all of this. Plus it does have 4 of the hotkeys built into it if you have that need but just a nice, simple, very, very compact podcast recording unit that I think they'll probably sell a bunch of these because it is the first one to have that headphone distribution amp built right into it, as well as the other functionality in this unit. Again, I haven't had my hands on one yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think they don't come out until in October sometime.
Yeah, so, October 15th.
Yeah. So hats off to Zoom for finally getting that part of podcasting right.
And so let me get this straight. The thing you're so excited about is
right there,
this right here. These four tiny holes.
Four little 3.5 millimeter holes makes all the difference in the world.
Okay. You audio guys, I'm telling you.
I get excited. Well, but think about it. The Zooms I've had before have been so close to perfection, yet I've got to string along another headphone distribution amp, the power supply for it, the cables between it and the unit itself. It's just, other stuff I don't want to have to take with me.
Well, and it's USB-C. You see right there.
It is USB-C.
Why can't they get webcams in USB-C, John?
Well, add a headphone distribution amp into the webcam, and then I'm sure you'll get there too.
Can Zoom make a webcam? Because apparently they've got this stuff figured out.
Actually, they do make video cameras.
Oh, that's right, they do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we'll look into that. Maybe that's another review. Another time, another review.
Maybe that is.
Yeah. Can the webcams be as good as their audio equipment? So. All
right. Well, now that we've ranted for a while about the cool stuff that's out there that we can't wait to see, is it time?
I got it. The review time.
It's review time, I think.
Oh, I got it. Look at that. Yep. Okay, that was fun. That was
nice
fun
audio under it too.
If I do audio, then it cuts us out. It's supposed to be
that's all the better.
It's supposed to be us just like, all right, now it's time to go into the nice StreamYard review. See how that worked? That worked so much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's StreamYard. So StreamYard is what we're using right now. And one of the quirks is if I have audio on a video, our mics shut off.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, I figured that out the hard way. I tried to get creative on a production I was working on, and I dropped everybody's mic out while I put a little, a transition with audio.
Okay.
So anyway, there's one quirk. So, hey, welcome to the StreamYard review. This is the section, that we talk about on the show. We'll talk about what we've worked on or learned or had to be forced into, voluntold to do, and we'll share it with you, the audience. So
yeah, and this all kind of stemmed out of, when we were shut down, told to mostly work out of our homes. Only a few people are allowed in our studio. Plus, the people we want to interview aren't allowed to travel. They've also been on lockdown. We had to find some solutions to do that. We started with Zoom. There are some problems with Zoom. Beyond
that.
Yeah, exactly. Beyond that, there were a lot of people that can't even use Zoom because they either can't download the software for it, or their networks block Zoom. Even worse with what's a Microsoft product? Skype. Yeah. Even more problems with Skype.
They've only had 13 years to perfect it.
Right. Although you did find a really cool way to ISO record and stuff.
I did. Yeah. There's if you're a Mac user, there's Ecamm Live, and they make a thing called Call Recorder, and it takes a Skype call and basically records four? I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I think it's like 4 callers at once. It'll ISO record them, and it's decent.
It is decent if you don't have the problems with Skype.
Right. Yeah. If Skype works, which 80% of the time it works great. But there's that 20% where it's garbage. There's no in between. There's no like, well, it was okay. It was just like it didn't work.
So then you found StreamYard, which one of the things I like best about it is it's just a link, and then it's all browser based. So somebody doesn't have to worry about firewalls. They don't have to worry about downloading software or any of that. They click on a link and they're in.
Well, actually, we found Restream. Yeah. And we found that for a distribution channel for all of our social live shows we were going to do, And then I noticed that they had a webcam version of Restream, and I didn't like it. And then we started looking at doing remote interviews, and I thought, well, I could try using Restream. And I was like, I don't really like how the interface works. And Google, being Google, said, well, how about StreamYard? As an alternative. And I was like, well, let me just look into this. And yeah, it's been gold. It's been absolute. I have not been happy about something that I've used like this for years, because it just works.
And in our typical form, we're not using it for what it was designed for.
Right. Because why would we ever do that?
That's right.
Why would we ever stream with a thing called StreamYard? We don't do that. So we're actually using this as it's a full-blown production system. I mean, we can hold up to 10 people. I haven't done that yet, and I don't ever want to do that because I'll probably go insane. But we do on a weekly basis. I do your other podcast, John. I do your 3-person podcast with guests.
Yeah.
That works great. And it's got its own branding, and I can switch the branding inside here in an instant. And then on some shows, I actually do some roundtable shows with 3 panelists and a host, and I back out. Same as the podcast, I back out as a producer, and I'm just in the background doing all the fiddly keywords and stuff. And I can't believe how well it works.
Yeah, and it works so well that we have taken full production of that podcast. If you're terribly interested, it's DC Signal to Noise. It's ag policy. If you're into ag policy, you're going to love it. If you're not into ag policy,
I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I'm not into ag policy, but I actually learned some things. I take back, and I tell my wife, would you believe what they did on DC today? She's like, I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, it's very wonkish. But the point, though, is that StreamYard works so well that I've quit using a separate channel for audio. We do everything within StreamYard and then just pull the audio out of StreamYard for the podcast itself. It works brilliantly. Right. And then we post the video on the website for people that, not only really want to get into wonky ag policy, but want to look at a couple of old guys and a very nice lady from Nevada.
Well, and I'll say this: if there's nothing else you take out of this entire video, it's that if you produce a podcast, you should use StreamYard to do it. Is my takeaway. I mean, that's my thinking. Is that what you would think, John?
Well, it certainly opens up new possibilities for revenue. It's what, $25 a month for StreamYard. And so it's very easy to bring in guests through StreamYard and make it into a video podcast, which gives you another platform to monetize if you so choose, which I think we're going to do here soon on our podcast. You can also perform the podcast or create the podcast live and have audience interaction, and then post the podcast plus the video podcast and have multiple revenue streams off of that.
Right. And maybe it's just me because I'm a visual person, but doing a podcast before with no visual interaction with someone would be tougher for me than actually looking at, what's going on. I enjoy talking to people and not just talking to my headset and a wall. So
does that mean, we may start using StreamYard since we're using it for 2 AV guys? We're maybe going to stream
possibly
2 AV guys.
We could look into that. If you guys want to see more of a stream and some interaction with comments and stuff,
if you want to shout at us while we're going, or with all caps shouting at us,
if you want to, we'll put your comment up and we'll take the abuse. That's fine. And there's plenty. Oh my God, podcasters have a lot of abuse to shell out to people. Let me tell you, some comments. I'm like, all right, well, you do a YouTube channel and talk about this stuff then. But
there is some of that. But in all fairness, I've got to say, the questions we get, I love because most of the questions send us right down a rabbit hole.
Oh yeah,
because it's
a deep dive.
Yeah, because you may think that our reaction is never, oh, they want us to solve their problem for them. It's, oh, cool, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
How does that work? Can we do that? And so, we love those kind of questions.
Yeah, it plays to our strengths and our weakness, which is research and trying to figure stuff out. We can't stop once we get into a rabbit hole. It's just we keep going deeper.
Exactly.
So do you? Okay, is the review over? The StreamYard glowing 5 stars. What are you going to go with?
No, I think there's some other functionality that we need to touch on because it does allow you to switch on the fly in a browser
Yep.
And you can do, the two up like we've got now. You can do, two up on a side with another screen big in the middle if you want, like that. Yeah, there's all kinds of different configurations you
do the
can
light
do.
show.
There you go. So, and it allows you to switch all that on the fly, and it's really been a very good tool for us. And again, we've used it not only to do these kinds of recordings, but also for our reporters to do interviews, even with people standing in a cornfield, because they can do this on their cell phone, standing in a cornfield, and talk. And it's, other than a couple instances where we had people with absolutely no cell signal, it's worked brilliantly every time.
Yeah, if you can do a Zoom, you can do a StreamYard. I mean,
in fact, I would argue you can do Zoom, you can do StreamYard in several places. You can't do Zoom.
True. Yeah, but I'm saying if you have the technology and the know-how to put a Zoom meeting together, you can do that 10 times better in StreamYard.
Yeah,
I mean, hands down. I mean, it's one of the best tools we have for just getting something done. We actually handed it to our reporter and said, "Here, you figure out," and she figured it out. She did it. Now she's doing her own interactive meetings and she's controlling the back and forth and the flow. And it's great for that. Before, with Zoom, you have to go and you have to pin the video and you have to make sure it's recording, and it's kind of iffy on the recording. And it depends on, did you get it to the cloud? Did you get it to your local drive? You get it to the cloud, you got to transcode it, then you got to bring it down. It was ridiculous.
And you can't really you can't really control what's on screen.
No, you can't produce anything. You're just getting a video screen. So then you got to go and produce it in post. And that's what some of our guys are still doing. They're still taking a Zoom and they're producing that in post. I'm like, why would you ever do that when you can just load the stuff in here and start doing it? You can put the video in, you can put the photos in, you can put all the information in and just get it done.
All right. So that's StreamYard. Go try it out. Tell them to. Actually, you don't have to tell them two AVs guys sent you. We're not getting any kickbacks or anything.
We're not an affiliate with them.
Yeah, it's really solved a lot of problems for us. And later, in a later video, we'll get into VMix, which also solved a very daunting challenge for us.
I don't even know if we want to get into how. Give us a month, we'll figure something out, I guess. So what was that? $13,000 and maybe 40 solid hours of research, and we figured out VMix was our
what
winner.
Was the answer? Yeah.
Yes. And it was it's an awesome answer for when you need to do some real production work. Like we did multiple camera crews remote and a studio crew. It was crazy, but we made it work. And VMix was the catalyst for it all.
Studio plus cornfields plus hotels. Plus broadcasting out to thousands of people in multiple destinations on streaming. So we took a traditional almost 30-year-old program that was all event based, and we broadened the scope out to several thousand people nationwide. Yeah, so it was pretty eye opening what you can do with this stuff. And we'll walk through that a little bit later on when we can put together some stuff to really give you a hands-on look at VMix, because that's going to take a little bit more production than we can do sitting here in our home offices.
And I do have a write-up on StreamYard that I'm almost finished with. That's going to go on the website.
All right. What else are we working on that we want to preview?
We're now to questions and comments. Do you want to answer some questions and comments?
Oh, yeah. What do you got?
All right. So first, there's a comment that I don't see this. I don't have it on me right now, but you have the Osmo Pocket. Do you have it on you?
Yes. I have it in the room. Hold on.
Okay, go get it. We'll wait. Yeah,
we'll wait. It's in the backpack here. Don't look in the background of this room because it's a mess. we have this one clean wall here.
I'm still moving my stuff around. This is my fourth setup in our basement. I just keep moving around. So I feel more at home here than I have in previous locations. Okay, so you got it.
Pocket.
All right, here's the comment. There is a second microphone on the bottom of the Osmo next to the C plugin. And I'm sorry I didn't put who wrote these comments. I'll put them in there later. But it's not. Is it on there? Do you see a second microphone?
Just a little pinhole right there at the very bottom.
Okay.
in addition to the other microphone here that we've talked about before.
the Vane microphone.
Yes.
So my question now is, how do you know which one's working? Or are they both? Is it stereo? Is that how they get stereo? It's a vertical stereo.
I don't know. And the other thing I've noticed since I've noticed that microphone is how often I cover up both those microphones when I'm using this.
They're not made for man hands.
No, they're not.
So okay, so now I feel like there's a new test we need to do, and that's what the heck is that bottom microphone do? Can you use that? Is that going to work or what? So.
Well,
I can see a lot of people walking around. They walk around with the Osmo Pocket, but they're holding their hand like this, like the old iPhone. Cup the hand so you get the better acoustic value.
That's not going to help.
No.
And again, it's on the vanity side,
right,
of the unit. So
there you go. That's the first comment.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, thank you for that comment. We'll do some work on that. Okay, so this one is back to one of our videos. We use the headset mic you're using now, which I haven't stolen because I haven't been around you to steal one. But I will steal one from you at a time when I can find it. I see you two are using headphone mics with the Rodcaster Pro. Would such a setup work well and forego the pod mics and rig for now?
What I love about a couple things I love about these headsets, and these are the ones that we use when our radio shows are out on remotes, a lot of times in busy, loud convention halls. So two things. One, it does a really good job of isolating just the sound of the speaker, and you can hear the presence of the other noise. So you're not in studio, and it adds a little level of excitement, if you will, of the natural sound, but it really makes the speaker's voice present in that. The other thing is that, we're dealing with a lot of people that aren't used to working with microphones. And so if you hand them a microphone, their hand is going to be all over the place. And, the position of the mic, like you do, the position of their mouth to the mic is going to be all over the place, where with these headsets, no matter where they turn, no matter what they do, the distance from their mouth to the headset or to the microphone capsule is going to be the same. And so you get that nice consistent sound out of the guests. And even our host is guilty of that sometimes if you don't have something nailed to his head. In fact, he uses one of these headsets in his home studio every day.
Yep. Well, it's the comfort level too. I mean, if you're used to it.
Well, and I mean, not just that you're used to it, but also when you put these headsets on a guest, they start to forget that there's a microphone there. Right. And the conversation can be a lot more natural and open than it is if you're shoving a microphone right in their face.
Right. There's a comfort level there with non-professionals and professionals alike. I enjoyed using that a couple of times we did it with our videos. It was nice because I had to keep the microphone close by, so I could just talk. And I'm good at talking. I'm not good at like placement of microphones. Like right now, I got a shotgun mic just pointing at my chest because otherwise I'd probably be off somewhere, phased out. So, do you have the model number of that? We'll put it in the description below on the video here. But
it's Audio-Technica BPH1, I think.
Yeah, I swear it's in the description of the other videos, but I'm not sure it's in this one too.
But yeah, it's nice having that all in one going into. I'm running it now into the Rodcaster Pro. So
right, and the overmodulating, you can't hear it, John, because it's on your end. But overmodulating is because of StreamYard. Actually, StreamYard has that's one huge gripe I have with StreamYard. Huge is the audio. Of course, audio's like secondary, right? It's always secondary. They do a good job, but it's AFV and it's all auto gated and auto modulated, and you can't touch it. And like for you have a really solid microphone. When you stop talking, you're just blown through the roof. And the second you start, it's this high, and then it instantly comes back down every time. So it's pretty good, but they need to work on that EQ a little bit. They need the little mini engineer in there to kind of dial it in better.
Yeah,
but you can't touch it. It's good for beginners and for people that aren't used to working on audio. But I think you would go nuts if you tried to do a professional mix on StreamYard. So,
thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, I'm here for that. This is okay. This is a long one. I haven't even read this one, so I probably should have read this beforehand. But I copied and pasted these things. Do you think this device is overkill? Oh, this is a Rodecaster Pro.
Okay.
Comment. Yeah, one of our Rodecaster Pro videos. Do you think this device is overkill if all you're doing is making YouTube videos? Would just a great mic plus something like the Scarlett 2i2 be enough? This seems great for a podcast, and I love the Rode presets. But at what point is someone's YouTube career would this be a good upgrade?
Yeah, and I got into a long conversation, a similar conversation with somebody on one of the YouTube videos about this, and absolutely, if you're only using one microphone to do YouTube videos and go in, I would just get a USB mic. We've had a lot of luck with the AT2020 USB. I think that they just came out with a new version of it. It's a nice, solid condenser mic, works well. And if that's all you need, that's all you need to get. And it's like $140.
Yeah.
As opposed to $600 for the Rodecaster Pro. Now, that's not to say that the Rodecaster Pro doesn't have its place. And it is certainly when you get into multiple microphones that you want to have finer control over and mix down into one thing, plus, the hotkeys, and that's when you need to step up to something like the Rodecaster Pro. I'd even argue that the Zoom Podtrack P4 that we talked about earlier, it kind of slots in the middle there, especially if you're doing a lot of recording outside the studio. That is definitely where I would look first in using that. And again, you can use that as a audio adapter into your laptop to have multi-track input.
I'm going to do a quick search on the Scarlett.
Yeah, and the Scarlett is obviously a great audio adapter, but you don't necessarily need it unless you've already got a great microphone that you like and you want to run that into your computer. Then get something like the Scarlett to make the connection. So
the 2i2 is on Amazon right now for $160. Actually,
So again, if you've got a great mic, that's a great solution.
Yeah, but my point is, for $40 more, you can have the new Zoom.
The new Zoom, and have 4 inputs. Be able to do multi-track, and
I think that's if you're doing a podcast, there's no comparison here.
Now, I will say, I haven't heard the Zoom, but I'm guessing that if absolutely clean audio is a priority, the Scarlett's probably a little cleaner. That's just a guess. I have not heard the Zoom yet, but Scarlett's got a really good reputation of having crystal clear audio there.
Do I see a head-to-head going on here? Maybe a head-to-head eventually. We'll see.
If you want to go out and buy them both, sure.
I don't need them. Actually, hold on. What I showed you before we started the show, I found my old M Audio.
M Audio, yeah.
Yeah, look at that bad boy. That was when it was really cool to have blue and fancy. It's got a lot of RCA connections here. That's how high tech it is. So I'm going to try to get that working. See, I have a challenge going where I could find anything old and I can make it look good.
Don't plug anything into the RCAs, please.
Oh, I got my old HV20, which I successfully swapped out for a week of my meetings, and no one noticed the difference in how it looked on the webcams. So
I did.
You did? Okay, we won't get into it on here, but okay.
But now I feel bad I didn't bring my old H1 out of the basement since we're going old equipment.
That's right.
Nostalgia, yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff that you can buy nowadays, not just the newest stuff. So, we got 2 more comments.
All right, let's go.
All right. I have my Rode connected to this is a question, looks like. I have my Rode connected to my PC via the USB fader. When I called someone on my phone, which was connected via TRRS, they couldn't hear any audio. I played on my PC. They couldn't hear any audio. I played on my PC, nor could they hear audio from my sound pads. Am I doing something wrong? That might be really technical and hard to just answer off the top.
Yeah, there's all kinds of questions you got to go down to troubleshoot that, making sure you had the right, make sure you had the channel for the pads up. That they note that they had a TRRS connector. I want to make sure it's would be one thing to check, and also maybe switch to Bluetooth just to make sure that it's not something in the phone that's causing them to not get that. But yeah, there's a whole laundry list you'd have to go through to troubleshoot that. And if they want to follow up, we can certainly have a conversation with them on it.
Yep. Yeah, hit us up. Okay, last one. I am still hesitating between the Zoom H6 plus a Shure SM58 versus Rodcaster Pro and the Rode PodMic. Which one do you recommend at this time?
It depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
If you have a stationary setup, you're in the same location every time, and you want a good, stable, consistent setup, I would probably go with the Rode setup with the Rodecaster and the Rode PodMic. But if you're moving around a lot and doing your podcast in different locations, I'd scrap what you have there and go with the Podtrack P4 from Zoom, and really any of the quality mics that are out there, either from Zoom or Rode or any of Sennheiser or anybody else that's out there.
Yeah, I feel like these were all done before the Podtrack P4. These comments were from before the P4 came out. So.
Yeah, well, and actually, I scrapped that. If you're doing mobile podcasting a lot, scrap the microphone. I would do headsets like this. Either this one, or they've got a new version out. Instead of -1, it's -2. Or there's a ton of great headsets like this out there for broadcast.
Cool. That's all the questions and comments I have.
Send more.
There are more. I just didn't put them all in here, but
well, no, I'm saying on YouTube. Send us more. We love talking with you. Or twavguys.com, maybe.
Yep, you can spell it out. TWO guys. Yes.
All right.
So that's all I have, John. Do you have anything else?
That's all I've got. So let's wrap this baby up.
All right. My gosh, it's been a long one, but we're back. We're going to try to do this. We're going to try this weekly. You want to try to do this weekly?
Let's try to do this weekly. And again, if you want to see us do this live so you can interact, let us know.
We can do this live. Yep. We'll definitely try that. So, all right. If nothing else, I will see you guys later. John, I'll see you from my basement, as always.
On our cameras, as always.
This is two of you guys. See ya.
Bye.